Okay, boys and girls, let's move on to the next portion. This is part of your module, row reduction and echelon form of a matrix. A matrix A of order m into n is said to be in echelon form if. Alright. So, if a matrix is satisfying these three conditions, it is said to be in echelon form. A matrix in echelon form is nothing but a matrix in triangular form. It is nothing but a matrix in triangular form. Alright. We have two types of triangular matrices. We have what we call an upper triangular matrix. Okay. We also have what we call a lower triangular matrix. Okay, so I am going to give you an example of an upper triangular matrix. Let's do 5, 4, negative 2, 0, 0, 0, 7, negative 5, negative 1. This is a very good example of an upper triangular matrix. So what is an upper triangular matrix? The one in which all the elements below the main diagonal are zeros. All the elements below the principal diagonal are zeros. What about this? So I am going to use the same matrix. We have 5, 7, negative 1, 0, 0, 0. Then I'm going to say negative 2, negative 5, then 4. This is a lower triangular matrix. So all the elements above the main diagonal are zeros. Okay, so let's move on to the first point. Every row of A, so every row of matrix A, which has all its entries 0, occurs below every row which has non-zero entry. Alright. What is the meaning of this? Let's say you have reduced matrix A into what? Into a triangular matrix. Okay. So what are we saying? Let's say we have 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4. Then here we have 0, 5, 7, 3. 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so if you check, this matrix is satisfying the first condition. The row with all the elements are zeros. If you check, all the elements of this row are zeros. That's why it is below of non-zero entry rows. If you check in this row, all the elements are non-zero what elements. Okay, that's why this one with only 1 0 element is below this, and this one has all its elements are zeros. That's why it is below. So it's not possible to have something like this 1 2 3 4, then you say 0 0 0 0, then you say 0 5 7 3. This is not correct. Okay, so the row with all its entries 0 occurs below every row which has non-zero entry. So this is correct, but this is not correct. Okay, point number 2. The first non-zero entry in a non-zero row is 1. Okay, let's say we have reduced a certain type of matrix into in echelon form. So I'm saying 1, 7, 9, 4, 0, negative 4, 5, 7, 0, 0, 0, 0. This is correct. Why? This is the first row, right? And if you check in this row, all the elements are non-zero. There is no 0 here. There is no 0. So if there is no 0 here, the first element in that row should be 1. If you check, the first element here is 1. So the first non-zero entry in a non-zero row is 1. So this is correct. If you do something like 7, 1, 9, 4, 0, negative 4, 5, 7, 0, 0, 0, 0. This is not correct. Why? This is a non-zero. This is a non-zero row, right? And you are saying the first element is 7, while the condition is saying the first non-zero entry in a non-zero row is 1. So this is not correct. This is correct. Let's move on to point number 3. The number of zeros before first non-zero element in a row is less than the number of such zeros in the next row. So the number of zeros before first non-zero element in a row is less than the number of such elements in the next row. What is the meaning of this statement? I'm going to give you this matrix 5, 4. Okay, I'm going to say 1, 4, negative 2 is 7. Then here I'm going to say 0, 4, 7, 3. Here I'm going to say 0, 0, 0. The meaning of this, they are saying the number of zeros before first non-zero element in a row. So if you check here, this is the first non-zero element. So 4 is the first non-zero entry in row number 2. Okay, I'm going to change here. I'm going to write 1. 1 is the first non-zero entry in row number 3. So 1 is the first non-zero, 4 is the first non-zero, right? So this is correct. Why? Because we are saying the number of zeros here is 1 and the number of zeros here is 2, which is greater than the number of zeros in the previous case. So this is correct. But if you write something like this now, if you say 0, right, and you say 1, this is not correct. This is not correct. This is wrong. Why? Because the number of zeros here is 2 and the number of zeros here is 1. Okay, so now you are opposing this condition. The number of zeros in the previous row is now bigger than the number of zeros in the in the next row before the non-zero before the non-zero entry. So you are supposed to understand this what are these conditions. So I'm going to give you an example of a matrix in echelon form, which is satisfying all these 3 conditions. 1, 9, 7, 5. I'm going to say 0, 3, 4, negative 2, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, if you check the first element in the non-zero row is 1, right? The number of zeros is increasing as we go down, right? Yeah, these are the conditions.